Hello and welcome back to Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak on Steam, where today we're going to be doing a whole bunch of afflicted anomaly quests, investigations, those things. Because I have to. That's just how it goes. And today is the 22nd. So there we go. Congrats on your successful Amatsu hunt, Outlander. And yeah, it takes a while to get leveled up for anomaly quests and stuff. And I'm just real quick, well, I guess maybe not quick, while waiting for anyone to potentially join, I'm going to do this Furious Rajang, because I need some afflicted dire hardfangs. Ooh, hello. Whenever I can get Carver High, I need to, because Carver High means potentially more afflicted parts. Reggie's Amatsu's full armor is more for weapons that use a lot of stamina, especially if they also use sharpness. So, like, it's good for weapons that have shields or for dual blades. Anyone else isn't going to get as much value out of it. And yeah, the Amatsu weapons are really only going to give you a lot of value if you get a lot of your damage from silk binds. Otherwise, the drawbacks are just too big for it to make up for. Hey there, Drake. Great. Reggie's Risen Shigara Magala armor is decent for everyone. It's only going to be really good for you if you're the type of player who is starving for more wire bugs. Because its unique skill makes it so that when you overcome the frenzy, which you will be giving yourself constantly with Bloodlust, when you overcome the frenzy, it gives you an extra wire bug to use for a while. And that stacks on top of the extra wild wire bugs that you can grab, so you can have up to 4 wire bugs at once. If that's the type of thing that you're into and that you feel like you need, then it can be a good armor set. If it's something that you're like, oh yeah, I guess that's a nice bonus or whatever, then you're probably better off using something else. And ultimately, making and using a full armor set in this game is almost never going to be the best strategy. And if you really want to have the look of a full armor set, then that's what layered armor is for. Yeah, I've heard heavy bowgun can also do some pretty ridiculous things using the bonus 4th wire bug. Or maybe it was light bowgun. One of the bowgun types can do ridiculous things by having 4 wire bugs. Back, Gold Squid. Outlander, I have played around with Hammer. Hammer and Switch Axe have always been my go-tos. But, yeah, that's about it. I mean, I've done the arenas, so I've used every weapon at least a little, but Hammer and Switch Axe are the ones that I actually use. Oh, I just remember. That stun that I just got. I forgot that I did a few gathering quests before starting this stream so that I could finish off my melds and have just a fresh stack of melds to go through. And, yeah, I swapped out a bunch of my decos for gathering stuff, like botanist and geologist. And oops, one of the things I got rid of was my hard stun res deco. And that is why, even if you're already holding the correct weapon, you still make sure to select the correct gear set before starting a quest. And yeah, Outlander, my switch axe usage, like, switch axe has been my main weapon since it became a thing. And that is why I use switch axe the way I do. I've been using it since try. It's one of those things where, like, in the try demo, I've told this story before, but in the try demo, I started off, the first hunt I did, I used a lance, because everyone on the forum said, oh, the lance is the best weapon, you can block anything, and you can do so much damage so quickly, the lance is the best weapon, everyone should use it. I have never been the type of person to get into actually using shields on, or in any game, really. Like, when I was a kid playing Smash Bros, using a shield in that is something that I didn't... Like, in Smash 64, I basically never used my shield button. Of course, I was only playing with other kids, but it took me until a decent chunk through Melee to start regularly using the shield. Shields just aren't a thing my brain wants to use all the time in most games. But then, yeah, so I couldn't get into Lance, and the fact that most of its attacks are straightforward pokes, I had trouble dealing with all the little jaggies in the try demo. Like, yeah, I was getting swarmed by little jaggies, and I ended up triple carding in the try demo on the Great Jaggy Hunt. And then the second weapon that I tried after I failed with Lance, it's like, okay, I'm going to try using a weapon that I think looks cool. I tried the switch axe, and I have not looked back since. I ended up trying, I think, most weapons in that demo. And yeah, switch axe was the one that clicked right away, with hammer being next. So I used hammer until I unlocked switch axe in try, and then I have been a switch axe main since. In 4U, I did use insect glaive more than switch axe because it was new, and because legitimately the first time I swapped to insect glaive, I did so because it was the only weapon to start with green sharp in Monster Hunter 4. So I used glaive in Monster Hunter 4 because it was new and it started with green sharp. And I stuck with glaive through 4 and 4U, though I did use switch axe for a good number of hunts in both of those. But glaive was my main then. Then in cross and double cross, I used aerial switch axe primarily. In GU, or Gen and GU, I used Adept and then Valor Longsword. But switch axe has always been there as my second, well, not my secondary, but as my thing I can fall back to when I need it. And Gen 4 is the only generation where I really went other than switch axe for any extended period of time. I guess for base rise here on PC, I did use hammer, because on Switch I had used switch axe, and I wanted a different experience. But that's it. So Max, were you going to join? The room's open. I've been upgrading this Espinosa axe, flaming Espinosa axe. Just at some point, I've been intending to actually experiment with it and see whether or not I can get better results than using my Magmadron Axe. Because, like, in terms of fire element, it's close. In terms of slots, it's great. And it also poisons. So, like, where is it? So 340, 123 versus 330, 94. So, like, yeah, it's behind, but those slots and that poison might make up for it. And I've been meaning to try it at some point. Also, the fact that it doesn't need any handicraft to get Purple Sharp means that I can use that for additional damage as well. So yeah, it's possible that the Crimson or Flaming Espionage Axe could be used to greater effect. I just need to do a set build with it at some point. I've been keeping it updated. I just haven't yet actually built a set with it. Afflicted Silver Rathalos, huh? Oh, it wants 181 or higher? I mean, so do I, but, like, it feels like they threw out the window the whole, oh, your afflicted quests will now, or your requests will now roll lower numbers so that you can get benefit for playing with your friends, but yeah, it seems they've tossed that out the window. I don't have a Silver Rathalos quest that matches. Let's get some Risen Dragonbone pluses. Those things are incredible for melding, because you only need 2 of them to do a full meld. And this will give Max 1 additional quest to get her sets in order. Ah, hello, Max Hailfinger. I was talking to SD Max. I wasn't aware that I had multiple Maxes in the audience. Still need to get used to using Hunter loadout instead of equipment loadouts like I have been muscle memoried into for actually years now. At least over a year. And today I learned that if you're zero-summing his arms during that dragon dive, you do not get dragon blighted. It's good to know. But if you're zero-summing his face, you do get dragon blighted. Seems weird considering the dragon lightning effect is around his arms as he goes. A lot of tornadoes. You know, doing quests with Risen Elder Dragons and swapping in quests where you're just fighting anomaly things, it really strikes you how Risen Elder Dragons do not give Blood Blight and how much harder that makes them relative to other investigations. Blood Blight is a hell of a thing. It's a huge buff to survivability. At least once you know how the monsters work. If you're unfamiliar with the monster you're hunting, then yeah, it's going to hurt you more than it's going to help. But learn how the monster works. Blood Blight is nothing but beneficial. I really should be going for his tail when he's down. I need to get that thing severed. Well, the thing about giving the hunter Blood Blight is, like I said, until you're familiar with the monster, it's more harmful than beneficial. That's why it is what it is. It's there to challenge hunters. Like, it rewards aggression, but if that aggression doesn't have skill behind it, then it's a punishment. And, like, this game isn't just for players who are playing at the bleeding edge of the difficulty curve. It's for everyone who gets it. And, like, I'm pretty sure most people, when they first encountered Malzeno, they were not a fan of Blood Blight. Wow, I was, like, inside that wind effect, but I didn't get killed by it. If only, if only, if only I wasn't mid-discharge when he started that, because I could have just zero-summed onto him and had a free ride. See, my cat has decided to poison the Kushala. That's always a good idea. Alright, got the tail. And the wings. Now I just need that face. There we go. It's got some range to it. And there we go. Tail's trying to hide. Got 2 Dower gems and 2 Rise gems. Not bad. And also, a good handful of Risen Dragonbone Plus. $400 investigation coins per... Oh, now 500 per punch card thing. I need more triple monster quests, game. Those are where the real points come from. I also need to get an Elder Dragon to level 221 plus. Yeah, Cammy, Teo, or Kashala. I need to get to 221 plus to get Risen Slogbones. And then my next goal is to get the Valstrax or Shagmag to 241. Because that's where Risen Dragon Thick Blood comes from, and Risen Slogbones come from the other Risens at 221. And that's what I need to get this juicy plus 10 sharpness, plus 10 raw. And also, I guess, bonus slot for more element. Like, in terms of point gain, I think this would probably be my highest at the moment. Just because it's the highest level I've got that's got 3 monsters. As much as I want to do another Velkhana just to get Velkhana parts. But I will get other quests with Velkhanas. I need points. Max, the lobby is supposed to be open. Everything suggests that it is online. Are you perhaps joining the wrong thing? It's not a Hunter Connect lobby. Yeah, there you are. Okay, so never mind about doing this. We are going to have to drop things down. Because Max and I talked about this beforehand. This is going to be a demonstration of what I believe is one of the biggest mistakes Capcom has ever made with this franchise. Because Max here is research level 152 right now. I am 222. Now, because Max is at 252, I need to do a quest that is at or below level 160. So we're going to do this exact same quest, and we're going to drop it down to 160. Even though it gives the same parts from 160 to 180. But we have to drop it to 160 because that's just what we have to do in order for Max to join. And Outlander, what I think Capcom's going to do for Monster Hunter 6 is probably take the base formula that we saw in World and polish it based on the feedback that they've gotten between World and Rise. As well as add something new, probably not major, but potentially. Because it'll be their second Monster Hunter game on the RE engine. That's almost a given. So we can expect it to be not too out of line with this, or with Gen 5. Especially considering we've got the 20th anniversary of Monster Hunter coming up next year. I have a strong feeling that what we're going to see is a game that they just try to make huge. Huge and pretty. I didn't even change my weapon. Whatever, this lightning weapon works on the Mizutsune, so that's what I am going for. Also, I think there's a non-zero chance that they bring back swimming in Monster Hunter 6. And the reason I think that is because they know how much people want laggy back. Like, I am willing to bet that they have been doing experiments behind the scenes in Capcom HQ for years now on how to make swimming feel good. Especially since we've been actually using systems that come with 2 analog sticks built in. Like, swimming was introduced on a system that had no guarantee of dual analogs. Ow. And sure, the Wii U did have a guarantee of dual analogs, but like 3DS and Wii were the 2 games for which they developed the Monster Hunter games that involve swimming. So yeah, now that we're on consoles that have a guaranteed second analog, I'm willing to bet they've been doing experiments to figure out how to make swimming work so that they can bring back underwater combat. Because a lot of the monsters that are basically exclusive to underwater combat are fan favorites. They're monsters that people ask to come back pretty frequently. One of them they even brought back in a game without swimming. And, yeah, it wasn't exactly well received, but kinda. Like, they've been doing what they can. They've even tried to bring Laggy back in yet another game without swimming. But they couldn't get it to work for other reasons. But they've had time to try to make it work. I have a feeling that there's a decent chance that they will feel like they've got it figured out and will thus give us swimming back in Monster Hunter 6. Didn't even get to finish screaming. It really saddens me that only the first Hellfire drop will ever knock a monster over. Like, I get it. It would be kind of busted if you could repeatedly knock monsters over just because they kept giving you Hellfire, or because you kept getting Hellfire from the Magnum Hollow armor. But the fact that they never fall over to Hellfire ever again just doesn't feel right. Feels like they should at least sometimes fall over to Hellfire. Like, even if it takes, like, 5 drops after the first one, it should still happen again at some point. Always great when cats give Thunderblight to a monster. Yeah, there's also the fact that Monster Hunter generations seem to have a habit of alternating between completely or trying to basically reinvent things and then trying to expand the things that they did in the previous one. So, like, Monster Hunter 1, it reinvented, or, well, it invented the game. Monster Hunter 2, let's take Monster Hunter 1, but bigger. Monster Hunter 3, let's reinvent the game. Monster Hunter 4, let's do Monster Hunter 3, but bigger and with, well, some mechanics replaced. And some new things. Monster Hunter World, let's try and make a whole new thing. So yeah, Monster Hunter 6 is almost certainly going to be an evolution of what we already saw in Monster Hunter World, rather than its own new thing. So we're probably gonna, like with Monster Hunter Rise, we're probably gonna see a bunch more returning monsters, and not necessarily so many new ones or anything like that. And we're probably not going to see so much in the way of new ideas, but rather refinements of existing ideas. And if we get a Monster Hunter 6.5, like Rise is basically Monster Hunter 5.5, and Gen was basically 4.5, I'm betting we see another, like, anniversary celebration type title like we got with Gen. Because 20th anniversary, etc., etc. Even though by the time said game came out, we'd probably be at the 22nd-ish anniversary. Maybe even 23rd. I expect Monster Hunter 6, they're probably going to be like, okay, we're going to make the biggest, prettiest game we can. And if that means bringing back a bunch of old monsters, so be it. Now, as for what I personally want to see out of a Monster Hunter 6, I want to see them try and go hard on story. I like the characterization they had for several characters in Monster Hunter World. I kind of wish they had given more than just 2 characters names in the game itself. Like, if they're going to have these characters actually be characters, make them be characters. But I fully expect we will see the follower system return because it has been so well received. So, yeah, the follower system I expect to see return. I want to see it return. I want to have a story where we partner with a bunch of other hunters and researchers to figure out some mystery that they set up early on, but don't show us the thing that we're looking for. Like, I want something more involved than Monster Hunter 4U's what is this thing in my pocket? But I want it to be less like Monster Hunter World's, hey, look, this is a Zora Magdaros, this is our goal. Yes, Monster Hunter World had twists and turns along the way, and somehow they decided that the Zora Magdaros was going to hide from us for most of the thing, despite being so massive. But, yeah, I want something between those two extremes. I want to have a mystery that we are trying to solve from the very beginning, but I want it to be... Well, I want it to be a mystery, but I want it to be more interesting than just, where did this thing in my pocket come from? And I want to be working with a team of hunters and researchers to actually try and accomplish this. Like, with the follower system, they can have a whole bunch of different followers and make different quests in the story, have different followers join us to do things based on, like, what their specialty is. Like, oh, hey, we need to go investigate some kind of monster in this type of terrain. Well, we're going to bring the hunter or researcher who specializes in that exact sort of thing. They're going to be different as a follower than any of the others, and maybe they'll have advantages for that type of terrain or that type of monster. Maybe they'll tell us interesting things during the hunt. So, like, there's a lot they could do to expand that and make it feel like we're actually a team investigating this thing, instead of just, oh, hey, there's this guy hanging out back in camp, and he's got a thing in his pocket. We got to figure out what that thing is. Or, oh, hey, we've got everyone working together on this, but we only get Theo joining us for a couple hunts. They have a real opportunity using the follower system from the start of the game to really expand the world and the characters in it and give us something truly special story-wise. And I am personally hoping, like, I know it's going to, but personally I hope that the story doesn't devolve into, hey, there's this weird thing going on with the monsters that makes them more dangerous, and we need to figure out what's causing that and put a stop to it, because, like, that's been 5 games now, basically. There is one problem with wishing for them to go story heavy, and it's that the last time they did that, Monster Hunter World, they had almost completely linear progression through the game. Like, you had to do this quest, then you had to do this quest. The assigned quests were almost all in a prescribed order. And, like, they gotta do something that makes it so that players who want the solo experience can have it, and players who just want to play with their friends can jump right into it. Monster Hunter World tried to address that by having them all be the same quests, but they made a misstep in making it so that everyone had to have seen a cutscene before they could join a specific quest, which meant that everyone had to stay on the same progression. But it, like, if you're playing only with friends, you gotta, okay, let's all start this quest, but then you three abandon it so that you can join me once we're past our cutscenes. That's dumb. And, like, I think Rise did it well. They had village quests be their own separate thing that was an okay bit of story, and then it was mostly just tutorial. Like, village quests in Rise were specifically made easier. They are scaled for half a player. Like, literally, they have an HP penalty on the monsters. They are scaled for half of a player. And, yeah, they had the village and the hub, but the village was basically tutorial. It wasn't mandatory to unlock basically anything. And players who did the village could unlock the hub stuff early by having done so. I think that was a good way to handle it. And then in Sunbreak, we did not have a separate village, which totally fine. Honestly, I think Sunbreak worked out great with its progression. So if we just got more of what they did here for progression, I would be totally cool with it, honestly. They got to make sure that players can play with their friends right from the get-go, regardless of whether their friends have seen cutscenes or whatever. Like, I do like having the cutscenes there. I don't think they should be required in order to actually join a hunt. And Outlander, I mean it when I say Village was scaled for half a player. If you look at the HP numbers, the monsters did in fact have like a quarter the HP that they did in Hub 1-star. Like, they had a 50% multiplier on their health. Whereas if you did Hub multiplayer, like, it's scaled for basically number of players in quest minus 1-ish. Yeah, it's honestly kind of interesting that they made the Rise Village quests scaled for half a player. Because, like, they've got solo scaling for hub quests, and if you do a hub quest of the same star rating for the same monster in Monster Hunter Rise, it will have twice as much health as it would in the village. That's just a straight fact. And yeah, here we go. Because I have decided to play this with a friend instead of solo, And because my friend is needing to catch up, behold what they do to the points I obtain. This is the biggest problem. The biggest problem with Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. This right here. They want us to do a big grind to get to the highest levels of content. They want every player to do that big grind because you need to be able to meet the minimum requirements to join a quest. This is the highest level quest that I can bring Max on right now. So I cannot do a higher level quest. And because this quest is so far below my level, I get 1/5 the experience I would otherwise be getting. 1/5. I cannot do a higher level quest while also playing with my friend. This is awful. I've said it before. There have been studies that show that people do not like penalties, they like bonuses. You can take the exact same numbers overall and flip it around so that this is the base value that I get, but I get a 5 times bonus, a 500% multiplier to my points if I do one that's at level. And it will feel better because this will just say, hey, you got 100% of what you were going to get. And then if I do one at level, it says, hey, you got a huge bonus. Just psychologically, it's the exact same numbers, but it feels so much better if it's a bonus instead of a penalty. Especially when I am playing with a friend and I see a penalty for doing so. And I have to see that penalty because Capcom decided that I could not play with my friend unless I took this penalty, because my friend cannot join a quest where I do not get penalized. It is the worst decision that they made, and it's compounded by other bad decisions with regards to the gating that they have done here. And my friend, who got a 300 or 400% bonus to their point gains there, gained a whopping 4 levels out of it. I will need to have that exact same penalty for probably 2 more quests before Max reaches the next tier, and maybe I get a smaller penalty, but still a penalty. Anyway, let's go see what my new quests are. Okay, let's find an A9. Hey, that's an A9. And like, if I put it at 161, oh, you gotta be 161 or higher to join. So yeah, I have to do a 160 in order for my friend to play with me. In this game, in a franchise that was literally designed from the very beginning to be a multiplayer offering. It was one of 3 games that Capcom designed specifically to take advantage of the PS2's network adapter. 2 of the games came out. I believe it was Resident Evil Outbreak and Monster Hunter 1. But Capcom designed 3 games with multiplayer online as the focus. It was what they were about. It was what they were made for. And yet, here we have an entry into that franchise that penalizes players for playing with their friends and helping them to rank up. It penalizes me for helping a friend to rank up. Wait, what was in this quest again? Okay, fire should do good against all of those, or at least decently. Right, I need to hunter loadout. It was Argyros, Nargacuga, and Valstrax. Okay, those all use different decos. Do I Elembane it? Nah, that won't work against Narga. Let's growth it. Max, this is not loosened out of the tower. It is just a regular Nargacuga. You have to remember that regular Nargacugas do in fact exist. And let's just bear in mind that what we are doing right now, this quest right here, is a 3-monster A9 quest. This is basically the most points that I could get for Max in a single quest, period. It's the highest rank quest that I can bring Max on, highest level. This is it. And it should also be a good amount of points for me, but that last quest we did got me what, like 200-some points? It was a pittance. I'm going to need to do like 3 of those just to get 1 level. And we'll see how this one ends up. Oh, also, this quest has a 2-cart limit, so none of that. We still have a Crimson Glow Valstrax. Risen. At the end of it, so we gotta keep those carts. Also, Max, to answer your question of why they couldn't have put this quest in the jungle, I think Apex Argyros is the reason. I don't think I've ever seen Apex Argyros in the jungle. So, it's probably his fault. Blame the bear. In fact, I don't think I've seen any Argyros in the jungle before. Well, I've seen Red Helm Argyros in the jungle, so I guess Argyros can be there. I don't think I've seen a quest with Apex Argyros there before, though. Hey, we're past the 5-minute mark. That means my growth is starting. Yeah. On the subject of leveling down investigations, it's great that they let us do that, because it lets me actually post quests that Max can join. But, like, I think it would have been a better solution if they just took away the gating entirely, let Max join any quest, and then just gave us rewards based on what level we are in the quest. So, like, for example, let's say we do this quest, and I'm getting Risen Dragon, whatever kind of blood I get at my level. But since Max is a lower level, she would instead get whatever the maximum level of Risen Dragon blood she has available to her. And that way, she can still join the quest with me and still get rewards appropriate for her, if that's what Capcom is afraid of letting people into higher level quests early for, is so that they don't get the rewards early. Then just do that. Instead of, like, make her get rewarded as if it's a level 160 quest instead of a level 200-some quest. And let me get rewarded as if the quest is its current level, because that's what I have access to. And that way, no one gets rewarded early, but everyone still gets to play the same quests as everyone else without anyone getting penalized. That would be nice. It would be a much better solution that encourages multiplayer rather than discouraging it. Is that not better for everyone? I would say yes. And sure, the monster will be doing more damage and whatnot, but like, you don't get defense added as you do more anomaly quests. I would have the same defense if I was at the same research level as Max is right now. So monsters doing more damage changes nothing. There's no reason to gate players out other than, oh, we don't want them to get the rewards. But then making it so that, okay, so the lower people can't get the rewards for doing higher level quests, and the higher level people can't get the rewards for doing higher level quests. Nobody gets out of multiplayer on investigations getting as much as they should be able to. And it's just simple changes they would have to make it better. But instead, they chose to do the probably more complicated thing. Oh, yeah, you can level quests down now. They had to add a UI and a system for leveling down quests instead of just having it be like, okay, you get the rewards that you are entitled to based on your level. And here comes Skyboy. I'm going to get away from this bear so that I don't get wrecked. I like how the Valstrax landed on the Shock Tripper. This bear just loves yelling at this dragon. No lasers for me, please. Ow. Yeah, Max, you can't stay on the ground after that, because the ground explosions will get you. You gotta wirefall after he slaps you. Pretend this is Monster Hunter 4 earlier, and you can't just wait on the floor. Still weirds me out that that was a mechanic that was added specifically in Monster Hunter 4U. It was not yet present even in Monster Hunter 4. And yet it feels so natural, like, it's been with us since Monster Hunter 4 because it's a good mechanic. And yeah, it just feels like a normal thing to do. It's second nature, but prior to Monster Hunter 4U, or 4G, you could not remain on the ground after taking a big hit. in order to stay safe for a little bit. Well, get ready for the big ambush. I dove too early. Never mind, I'm fine. Guard, I'm pretty sure staying down in 4U was added because of something that I discovered, and I believe you were there for, in Monster Hunter 4, which is that if you had a rock steady effect, like, for example, what you would get from having the orange essence with an insect glaive, and you were fighting a high-level frenzied Bracky, his lunging punch would hit you on the exact frame that you became hittable again, because you would automatically get up. And thus, it made it so that having extra resilience basically got you murdered because you had no option to protect yourself. But if you did not have that, then you would get up more slowly, and he would not be able to punch you on the first frame you were punchable again. Rip. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that exact situation where having a bonus made you more vulnerable is why they added the you can stay down mechanic. Rip. I would have gotten 200 points for failing this quest. But no. I get an adjustment. Well, this is an interesting choice. You can have an Apex Rathin, or you can have a Teo. I choose Teo. I like this. Yeah, I guess we should deal with the Teo first, which means I should probably go get a water weapon, because then I can stay with the lightning weapon for the rest of the quest. Or I can just not care about exploiting Teo's elemental weakness. That's an option. Yes, I will go with what's more convenient rather than what makes the quest go faster. It bugs me that whenever I end up zero-summing a monster's tail but not hitting the tail hit zone, it bothers me. And that's happening with this Teo. Now here's a question. Is it wrong to want swimming to come back partially because it means that we'll just get more water monsters? This franchise has never had that many. And if we got swimming in a new generation, it'd be a chance to get a bunch more. A chance. I'm sure we would mostly get, like, more fire monsters that just go underwater for some reason, but we'd have a chance at getting water monsters. Also, I hope Monster Hunter 6 pulls a Monster Hunter 2 or Monster Hunter 4 and does not shy away from having subspecies in the base game. And don't pull a Sunbreak. Give us subspecies we've already had before. It's an easy way to expand the roster and give more potential weapons to use. Just, if a monster is in the game, bring all of its subspecies into the game too. Okay, Seragios is leaving. Handy. Looks like our Kushala is going to be on the small side. Another thing I'd love to see out of Monster Hunter 6 that I know isn't going to happen is for them to do what they did with Monster Hunter 4 and not show off anything that appears after low rank in the marketing materials. I want surprises. Every time they've had a surprise in a game, it has been good. Like most of Monster Hunter 4. And then when they actually added Basil to Monster Hunter Rise, they kept that a surprise, and it was nice. Every time there's a surprise, it is fun to discover. Oh, whoops. Didn't realize that that move actually put the Seregios in the floor. Yeah, every time they let us discover a monster in the game, instead of revealing it ahead of time, it is fun. But they have to reveal it all ahead of time because that's how they get sales. Like, oh, look at every monster that's in this game. Don't you want to hunt at least one of those? Like, I get it. In terms of wanting to sell the game, they have to reveal as much as they can because showing people things is what gets people interested in said things. But damn it, I want to find the things for myself, but I can't deny myself preview videos for Monster Hunter from official sources. I cannot. I am incapable of it. While I can do it for other franchises, I cannot for Monster Hunter. Yeah, like, just to use another franchise as an example, for a couple generations there, Pokemon showed off every new Pokemon before the games launched. And it's just like, cool, we get to see them, but there's no surprises waiting for us in the actual full game. So, like, lame. But then, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet come out, where they didn't show off like half of what they had. And it was fun getting to discover things. There is value in discovery. Yes, it makes it so that you can't show as much for marketing purposes, but when you can make your target audience happier instead of trying to entice players who might not be as interested, especially when you're in a series that's starting to get as much sway as Monster Hunter is. Like, it's getting big. I feel like they can afford to give us some surprises again. And, like, an argument can be made that showing us in the reveal, we get the surprise there, so we still get a surprise. And yeah, it is nice, but it's not as nice as, say, hey, I'm hunting this monster that I already know, but a question mark is coming to join the fight. And that question mark is something you've never seen or even heard of before. That's exciting. Of course, honestly, it'd probably be better if they stopped showing monsters on the map if they aren't the quest target. Like, I'm fine with them showing the quest target on the map. I think monsters that are not the quest target should not be shown on the map unless you take steps to make them be shown on the map. It's like the fact that every single monster is shown on the map right away in this game kind of neuters the whole concept of invading monsters. So yeah, bring back Psycho Serums. Make those show non-target monsters on the map. Even if it makes it show them for the rest of the quest, it's fine. And, like, maybe make it so that if a monster, even if it's one you've seen before, make it a question mark on the map until you see it in that quest. Preserve surprises. Surprises make games fun. Unless you're, like, a speedrunner, in which case you kind of want to have no variables that you can't account for. But for people just casually playing the game, surprises are fun. I still like how Monster Hunter World handled it, where monsters left behind tracks, and if you grab tracks, then you could figure out what it was. Like, do that. But also make the tracks, like, visible without having them glow neon green because scout flies. I want to actually, like, see them in the environment as tracks. So reward players who pay attention rather than players who can see the color green. Like, I want to have reason to care about what each monster's footprint looks like. Make me be the one who has to interpret what monster that footprint belongs to. Just show me that. Give me a prompt to collect the footprint. Like, sure, standing over the footprint, make it say footprint, press circle to grab or whatever. But do not tell me what kind of footprint it is until, like, I've fully filled the meter, which make the meter easier to fill than it was in World, but also make more information stay hidden until it's full. Like, sure, let me follow one footprint to the next, whatever. Don't show the monster on the map until I have found it or found, like, way too many. Well, I guess that's what it was in World, wasn't it? I don't know. I want it to be like World, but not like World, but also better than World, but also worse than World. So do all that. And do it perfectly the first time. That's what I want. Lol. Not getting away that easy. Nice wing break. Just got them horns now. Oh, one thing I absolutely want to see out of Monster Hunter 6. Bring back monsters not caring about us for a while until we do something to them. Like, unless it's a specifically known to be territorial monster. Because, like, Elder Dragon's not giving a single damn whether we're there or not was fantastic. I want to see monsters acting like just regular animals in the world. Because they are just animals. Make them act like animals. Don't make them act like instantly aggressive killing machines always. It's fine for some monsters that are known to be territorial or aggressive, like a Seregios that doesn't pick a fight with everything it sees is not a Seregios. But let Anjanath be a big dog who takes naps. Yay, I got a Rise Gem. And I got 237 points. Not nearly enough. I appreciate that the "there's a sale going on" music is there to remind me that it's here to check it out. I wish as soon as I did the lottery it stopped overpowering the music that I have set for the lobby. And of course, Max hasn't reached 161 yet. We gotta do one more quest. Hey, look, it's one more quest. And considering fire is Shagmag's secondary weakness, we can just bring fire. The problem there, Outlander, is I don't want to disable the lottery music. I want the lottery music to be there until I do the lottery. You know what bugs me about Apex monsters? We have gotten a rideable one now. And yet they are never going to let us ride an Apex Zinogre outside of that one single quest. They're not going to let us ride any other Apex monsters either. Also, this bear just sat here eating honey until his hands got broken. Getting grabbed by Apex Argyros is clearly the meta for this hunt. Like, get grabbed with honey in your inventory and you just win. Wonder how long he would have kept going if his hands didn't break. Nice wind effect. I was screwed by the ledge. I feel like dodging down a ledge should not result in a little jump. Because, like, my dodge roll, I already leave the ground to do it. Why should I do an extra jump afterward? Shouldn't it just let me fall as I am? Like, come on. If I am dodging down a ledge, I am not doing it because I want to jump. Well, actually, I guess sometimes I would be, like, if I have my weapon drawn and I'm trying to get a mount attack. If I'm dodging down a ledge and away from a monster, I do not want to jump. And this game does know when you're going away from a monster. Like, it's got the panic run and the panic dive for that purpose, because it knows when you're going away from a monster. So, like, it would be a small change, but I think it would be a welcome one if they made it so that you could not jump down a ledge by dodging over it while moving away from a monster. I cannot currently think of a situation where that mechanic removal would result in anything other than what the player actually wants to have happen. Like, taking away a mechanic is always a case of, okay, the player doesn't want this to happen sometimes, but is there a situation where removing this would actually make the player upset because it's taking away something they wanted to do? But, like, yeah, I can't think of a time where I would want to jump off a ledge while trying to dodge away from a monster. Every single time that happens, it just results in me potentially taking a hit that I otherwise wouldn't. Or at least just make it so that the jump off the ledge doesn't interrupt the iframes that I would have going into the dodge. That would at least go some way towards helping. I still think it would not be ideal because that jump also prevents me from going as far as I would be with the dodge. And distance sometimes matters a lot more than iframes. So yeah, I think they need to just work on what it means. Oh, bye, Shagmag. Doesn't want to hang out with this dead bear. It's probably smelly. I think they need to work on jumping and ledges in general. Like, it's a mechanic that's been around since Monster Hunter 4. They've definitely done some iteration on it, but there's still more work to be done. Why am I going towards this monkey? Oh, whatever, I can grab the monkey. And then the monkey can do a lot of damage to the shag. The monkey is not part of the quest. We do not have to kill it. But the monkey can help us, because the monkey is a friend. There we go. Time for friendship. So, wyvern riding like this. It's a fun mechanic when you're in a multi-monster quest. But it's only fun, like, it's not really that fun when you're riding the monster that you're there to hunt. Because, like, in that case, it's either you bonk it on a wall a few times, and that's what happens, or you bonk it against a monster that is not your target so that you can then use the monster that is not your target against the monster that is your target. Like, it's a fun mechanic, but it feels not great whenever it involves the monster that you are meant to be hunting. I would rather have World's style of mounting for the monster that I am specifically hunting. Like, almost every single time. In fact, I think I'd probably rather have that style of mounting be the only style if it was a choice of you have to have one or the other. As fun as it is to ride a Rajang and make it laser beam things, I don't know that it really fits the tone of Monster Hunter as a franchise in general. Like, yeah, I enjoy it. It's fun. I think one game is probably enough. Especially because some of the monsters' moves, like, it just doesn't make sense that you can make them use them. Like, anytime you make a monster do, like, a projectile or a laser, how are you forcing them to do that? Because, like, yeah, you've got your wire bugs attached to them so that you can puppeteer them. But how are you puppeteering things coming out of them? And then, like, some mounted punishers, like Diablos, where they go underground and thus completely break from your control, but still finish the animation anyway? Like, as soon as the Diablos goes all the way underground and you pop off it, shouldn't it then be completely under its own power? Like, I don't think that Wyvern riding should allow us to do anything other than physical movement for the monsters. It just doesn't make sense. Like, it makes sense from gameplay, but not from actual what's going on. There's ludonarrative dissonance. Ow. Uh-oh. I could use heals. Ow. My skull. Yeah, I think a system like World's mounting system, but where getting knocked off as the monster is flailing about actually does damage to you instead of just costing a chunk of stamina, might feel a little better. Because, like, yeah, monsters are effectively harmless while being ridden. But they could make it so that that you still have to pay some attention, and the consequence of failure isn't just you don't do the damage. You know, whenever I see those particle effects, the first time I hunted this thing with Max, she pointed out to me that, like, switches are choking on that. And it's like, yeah, that's right. The Switch does have to be able to run this game, doesn't it? All those particles. Like, I get that they're probably not particles. It's probably mostly billboards. But still, I can't imagine that move being easy for a Switch to run. Hey, big fella's almost dead. So am I! You good? You good there? Are you alive? This Magala almost sent you to the Shadow Realm. At this rate, it's going to take me about 7 hunts per level game. Just because I'm playing with a friend. Oh, Max, you stole my Rise Gems, did you? Because I got none. Oh, you're probably 161 now, aren't you? Okay, I need to wait for you to actually get back. Yep, that's 162. Which means we can do quests up to 180 now. Let's see how long it'll take me now. So let's pick a nice quest that I can put down to 180. Dang, I don't have a triple. Well, I do. I do have a triple monster quest that I can put down to 180. That is also a quest that I want to do because I need Velkhana parts, honestly. And unlike the last time we tried this quest at a lower level, we got insurance now. Of course, we didn't do this on stream, but still. I'm still hoping that at some point we get attack jewel 4s. They will make gearing so much easier. Presence of Challenger Jewel Force is nice, but I want Attack Jewel Force. Wait, what's... There's a Velkhana here. I can... Or wait, no, we want to fight not the Velkhana first. The Apex Rathian first. Okay. Because that way there's a chance that we can use the Velkhana to ride against the Spider. And that's the ideal usage of things. How's Velkhana's Dragon Res? It's a secondary weakness. It's a very distant secondary weakness, though. So I will still be swapping to fire. Yeah, it's possible that they added attack 4 gems, but I have not been able to make them yet, which could just be because I haven't gotten the right parts. I haven't done a 221 plus A8 monster, nor have I done a 241 A9. It's possible that they're there, but I can't get them yet. I forgot to grab the spider. And Venom really isn't that bad. Bring back poison that's actually scary. I'm talking like the deadly poison in GU. Okay, Rathian down. Now I gotta go change my weapon to a fire weapon to take advantage of Velkhana's enormous weakness. Oh boy, a ruby. I guess Elembane works for Velkhana. Velkhana is so weak to fire that it should kick in most of the time. Did I just slide past an afflicted thing? No. That's right, this is going to spit me out on this side, which need to get over to this side. And looks like Velkhana does not want to hang around for the spider. And yet the two are close enough that we may in fact get to do exactly the thing that I had hoped for. Which is use the Velkhana against the spider. Because that helps us shave off a lot of health that we otherwise wouldn't. Or otherwise would need to do with our weapons. And we can even use the spider against the Velkhana. How good is that? don't think Velkhana's a very good mount. Animations are all really slow. You don't get enough out of it to really justify it. Though this Punisher is at least a bunch of hits. Now, I kind of wish I wasn't using a fire weapon at the moment, but I'm going to chase down that Velkhana. Just having a sit. You ever just sit? Oh, I did grab the spider. Or no, the spider that I have came from a different place. Oh, hello, spider? Spider not only showed up, but got knocked out of afflicted mode? Neat. Goodbye, spider. Thanks for dropping by, I guess? Yeah, the main changes they made from Iceborne for Velkhana are how its ice armor functions. Like how you knock it out of its icy mode. And also they made it so that I can zero-sum its legs, but not its wings. Where I used to be able to only zero-sum the face, wings, and tail. Which made it a lot easier to get all the breaks. It's hard to break the wings now. Yeah, now Velkhana's ice armor is individually on different parts. Like, we just broke the ice off its front legs, but it's still on the back legs, the face, the wings. So that's the major change they made, is how the ice armor functions. It's not all or nothing like it was in World. It's piecemeal. And you have to break a certain amount of it in order to stop Velkhana from doing its super move. Because this is Monster Hunter Rise, and a post-game monster in Monster Hunter Rise has to have a super move. It's required by law. Yeah, Velkhana always had a super move, but it didn't function quite the same. Like, it wasn't that. And can I just say how nice it feels to zero-sum a monster and have every tick do over 100 damage? Velkhana's super weak to fire. And I just learned that the floor here is hot. Like, I can see that it's lava-y, but I feel like if it's going to be hot enough to do damage, it should at least glow. Ow. And dead Velkhana. Good, got a crown horn. Actually, I think the west camp might be closer, considering how getting into the caves works. Either way, I need to not have a fire weapon. I don't know that I've ever gone through this tunnel before. Oh, great, of course. Of course it had to explode right as I put down my toad to make it fall down. Waste of a toad. I only turned around to grab some infected antidote herb. Spider is just having a bad time. Ow. Ow. So many Pyrantulas. I don't think I've ever seen so many in one place before. There we go. Now we've gotten every unique break on her. Indeed, Max, we have not gotten vibe checked since. Though I think part of that might be because I realized that my port forwarding was broken. Like, completely broken. Like, the things that I had meant to be forwarding ports to my computer were no longer forwarding the ports to anything. The entries in my port forwarding list thing had just been completely blanked out. So I fixed that the other day, and hopefully that stays fixed forever and we never have a problem again. That would be nice. Though that wouldn't explain why it was only specifically you getting disconnected from me so constantly. So who knows? Could be anything. But either way, the game has been very playable these past few days. And we got a whole bunch of quests to potentially try out now. But, given the time, we're only going to try out one of them. So, last quest of the stream. Okay, Bahari insists that we do a Risen Crimson Glow Valstrax, so we have to. Let's just real quick see what the new quests we got were, though. Okay, nothing exciting. So... Oh, you got lucky. Bahari wants a level 171 Crimson Glow Valstrax. You aren't able to do that yet. A crumb of basil, you say? I'll find one. I don't want... Well, I guess maybe you need afflicted dire cortices or something. I was gonna say, like, no, let's not do something with Basil as the prime target, but I guess we could. I was gonna look for a quest that just had Basil in it. Wow, I don't have any Basil quests that have anything else in them. We haven't done anything in the jungle, and it's the best map. We're going to the jungle for this Basil. Mostly named them Standard and Elder because Elder is my item set that doesn't have the traps. It's still the same gear set for either one. Should really consider making gear sets for specific targets. That would be smart. And actually, Anti-Wyvern Jewel is exactly what I want, so we're good. Wait, you have a 162? Oh, you're... That's right, we can do 180s. Which means we could do the Crimson Glow Valstrax. That... Hang on. Fine, we'll do your thing. Yeah, I don't have any that have both Basil and Valstrax, unfortunately. So actually, we don't have to do this one because it's too low level to get me the points anyway. So yeah, we'll just do the Basil in the jungle. Because dang it, we need to see the jungle. It is the best map. I'm just gonna... Oh. Okay. Well, I guess we're doing a not level 180 Basil in the jungle. But again, it's fine. Jungle's the best map. And I haven't been to the jungle in, like, 3 streams. If not more. Jungle good. We like jungle round here. This is how you can tell I haven't done a jungle quest in a while. I didn't have Sniff 'em Out enabled. Not that I really need to spend too much time going after curio gathering spots here, because it's not going to get me that much in the way of points to level up. And because the quest is so low level, it will only get me low level quests. Which I do not need. Rip. away he goes, I guess. I wish it was more reliable to zero-sum Basil's wings when attacking from the side. Because you can zero-sum the wings. It's a great way to help break them. But when you try and do it, more often than not, you'll end up either on the face or the tail. Good job, Squids. Real good job, Squids. Back is a tough break to get, so I'm working on it when I can. And Basil's almost gone. And the back's the only break we haven't got yet. And we're not getting it. And we're going to finish this stream with me having almost gotten a level since I started playing with my friend. Almost. And that's why penalties for playing with lower level people are a bad thing, Capcom. I am playing with a friend, which is something that you want to encourage, but I'm not getting a damn thing out of it, other than the enjoyment of playing with a friend. Which, yes, is a good thing to get. But, come on. When you have a grind this big, don't make it worse for playing with friends. That's going to be it for this stream. Thanks, folks, for dropping by to watch and chat and all of that. And I will see you for some more... you know what? We're going to go back to Zelda. I will see you for some more Oracle of Seasons on Tuesday. See you then, friends.